Hi, good morning, everybody. Galatians 6:7 says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap." Now remember, in that context, Paul is writing to church people, not unbelievers. And what they were doing was, if you recall, they were having difficulty in the Galatian church with the Judaizers who were coming in and trying to make the church more Jewish and telling people they weren't, good Christians if they weren't observing the sacrificial system and doing things according to the Old Testament law. And Paul's like, no, that's not good. And then he starts to transition to what they did with what they gave away and what the substance that God gave them. And then also in dabbling with sin. They dabbled with sin. And Paul writes to them, and he says, don't be deceived. God's not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. Meaning that if you're going to give in to these false teachings, false doctrines, if you're going to listen to this stuff, if you're going to dabble in sin, God's not mocked. Stuff's going to come back at you. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. You can't get away with anything with God. And then in regards to our material possessions, God's not mocked. If you sow, you'll reap. If you give away, God will give back to you. It's a biblical principle that has to do with our spirituality, our walk with Jesus in holiness or in sin. Whatever we sow, we're going to reap. If we reap to the spiritual things, we'll be blessed with spiritual things. If we sow, to carnal things, then we're going to reap carnal things. If we sow with our material possessions to godly things, then we're going to reap godly things. But it's up to you. God's not mocked. He keeps the records. He knows the books. You can't fool him. It's up to us to sow to spiritual things with our time, talent, treasures. And you know what? You will reap. You will reap in due time. God bless.